Capricorn, hello. Welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for the month of May 2025. Alrighty. Please do keep in mind that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and reverse any energies as you see fit. Alrighty. Let's see what Capricorn has in store for the month of May 2025, please. Show me Capricorn for the month of May 2025. Show me what Capricorn has in store for the month of May 2025, please. Thank you. Show me Capricorn for the month of May, please. Show me Capricorn for the month of May. All right, and last time, show me Capricorn, please. Okay. Strength. It feels like you are going to need some inner strength heading into May, okay? Here we have the Tower, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. So what I'm getting from this as these popped out, it feels like there's some disruptions to your security here and you're not here for it, or you're trying to block against that. Okay, some decisions are being made this month. It feels like potentially some tough decisions that are shaking things up a little bit more than what you'd like to see or what you'd like to be the case. Feeling like you don't want to engage in this, but engagement is necessary. Three of Wands here showing up like perhaps you're not ready, like I said, for this to take place. But that Tower is showing up. The Towers show up when, universe deems necessary. And so there's kind of no escaping this, okay? Strength, that is that Leo energy. Justice here, Libra energy, with the Ace of Swords and Death, Scorpio energy in the shadow here. So Capricorn, this really feels like now is the time for some honest decision making to be had. Ace of Swords, new perspective, new thought, new ideas here. And then, of course, we have that Death, Scorpio card here, change and transformation, which typically does take place if we allow it to happen after that Tower energy kind of settles. Okay, yeah, so it feels like you're trying not to engage in this, but ultimately it is happening, and some disruption to where you sit could be in store for you for May. Okay, let's get some clarifiers here. Let's get some clarifiers here for Capricorn. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have here the Four of Cups on its side. The Sun in reverse on that side of the board here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords in reverse with the Page of Cups right side up, and Queen of Pentacles in the shadow here. Okay. I'm getting the vibe that you don't necessarily want this change, but you're not. Seven of Pentacles, looking at it objectively, which makes sense for you, Capricorn, and at least weighing this Tower objectively, right? The pros and the cons of it. Eight of Swords in reverse, that's nice to see, just because you're kind of releasing what's holding you back here. So even if you're showing up immediately like, oh, I don't want to engage in this, the fact that the Eight of Swords is in the reverse and that Seven of Pentacles, you're taking the time to kind of sit with this, is good. This Page of Cups here, typically I get a little leery when the Page of Cups enters the chat. But it feels like you're not being deceived by him. And you're not really taking... You're not really taking what he has to offer. And perhaps it could be that this Page of Cups here, you're not buying what he's selling, okay? And so perhaps the reason that you're showing up as guarded here is in fact to allow this change to your setting where you're sitting to happen here. You're kind of like, this is necessary. I've made this decision to get a little bit uncomfortable here and challenge some ideas and some thoughts, perhaps long-standing for you, Capricorn, that make you feel like you're being held back from something. And so you're making those necessary adjustments here, and trusting yourself in that process. Okay, so Justice, Ace of Swords, that is kind of making more sense here. You're kind of holding space for that change to happen. And you're kind of guarding yourself against anything else coming your way so that you can focus on that change. So this is showing that you are paying full attention to that tower, if that makes sense, and really trying to give this your whole and undivided attention here, okay? So that really is showing up very nicely here, right here with that Three of Wands, Four of Cups, and the Sun in reverse. I'm wondering, it's kind of like... Sorry, had to check on the dog. I'm wondering if you're putting a hold on what's next here. You're like, okay, I'm going to pause just for a minute just to kind of deal with what this tower has to bring so that I can change and figure out what needs to be tweaked and so on before I continue moving forward. This Four of Cups sideways, though. Perhaps it's you kind of saying here, you're not fully engaged and you're not fully disengaged from this. You're kind of sitting on the fence here with that energy, so that you can put your full focus and your full effort on what this tower is trying to shake loose here for you, and what you're trying to kind of break away from where you sit, right? Whatever it is that is disrupting here is something that feels very solid, like solidified to your where you sit, or very close to your personal landscape here. Okay, it feels very integrated in you, which is why it requires so much of your attention to be removed or disrupted. Okay, the Sun in reverse. This is, I don't know if you're scared of what is gonna be discovered. Let's see. Let's get some more clarification on that Sun, please, in the reverse. Can you show me some clarification on that Sun in the reverse, please? Okay. Okay. So we've got a lot. It feels like you're scared of an ending, potentially. Okay. I feel like I'm getting the picture here. Whatever this tower is, that's kind of addressing something where you stand, or part of very integrated into your personal landscape. It's like cement, okay? Whatever this is that you're dealing with, or that this tower is trying to shake up here, you're kind of here for it, right? You're kind of like, okay, this is necessary. I feel like we need to talk about this now. But now that the time has come that you've set aside, right? You've set aside this time to talk about this, to not really engage in anything else and put kind of some effort into what is taking place. You're realizing that's a meant that part of me. I actually leaned on it a little more than I thought I would, and I really don't know if I want to take part in putting an end to this. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So it's not that you're not ready for the change. It's not that you're fighting against this tower, but it's more like you've been leaning on this uh, for a long time, and now that it's time to kind of stand up straight, you're like, oh wow, there's a lot more involved in this process than I initially thought, right? Um, the Hierophant showing up in the shadow here, along with Chariot. So we've got Taurus and Cancer energy here, very rigid energies, right? Very like yeah, just rigid, like all or nothing, black or white here. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Either you're going to be fully invested or you're not going to be invested at all. Which I feel like they're kind of showing up to say, hey, let's either, oh my goodness, what's that term? Let's do this or let's not. Like one or the other. Let's pick one. And they're showing up to kind of say, let's make a decision here. Let's get this going. Let's get this flowing. Let's figure this out. And kind of spur you into some action here. And you're kind of resisting that, right? You're like, yes, okay, I'm going to do this. I've made up my mind, but now that it's the time to do it, it's kind of like, right? Your engine is sputtering a little bit here. Let's see some more clarifiers here for Capricorn, please. For May, can you show me a little bit more for Capricorn for the month of May? All right, so we've got Death and we've got the Queen of Pentacles showing up in the reverse this time on this side of the board. So Death, right, that Scorpio energy showing up in the shadow here, now making itself a little bit more prominently placed for May for you. And then we have Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So it's kind of like this change. Yeah, you recognize on some level here that change is necessary and that you want this change. Queen of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. There's something about this process that you're not trusting, or some aspect of yourself that you're not feeling is completely right here, which is perhaps why your engine is stuttering a little bit. Okay. Seven of Swords. Yeah, you're definitely holding something back from yourself. You're not being, Seven of Cups. Okay. You're not being completely honest. There's a little bit of a fog here. Not really sure. Feels like you're holding yourself back from engaging the more that I look at this here, right? Like you want this change in theory, but in execution, do you want this? Or, maybe you saw this pathway and you planned it out in your brain. And now that the time has come, you're seeing that perhaps you have a more, a stronger emotional attachment to whatever is being disrupted here than you initially thought, right? And so you're kind of like, oh, I didn't anticipate that coming. So now it kind of throws everything off and you're a little bit off balance in terms of how you trust yourself. You're not really sure of whatever ending is here. You're not really sure of the timing. Is this now the right time? Feels like now, Capricorn, you're a little bit second guessing things here and you're holding yourself back. Okay. I want to make that clear with that Seven of Swords. You are very much in the driver's seat, just in life in general. Okay, Capricorn, that is you. So for this Seven of Swords to show up here is no joke. It very much, I take this to mean that you are keeping yourself from something. Okay. Nine of Swords showing up in the shadow here. Again, this idea that you are not feeling comfortable. Okay. You're not liking this, right? Whatever this situation is, whatever this disruption is, and you're feeling like, is the time right? Is it not? I thought I wanted this, but do I really? Whatever this is really plaguing you here. And it feels like there are some things with this Eight of Swords in the reverse that you're confronting. But it's seeming like whatever that confrontation is just leads to harder truths and a little bit more of a direct confrontation that perhaps is a little bit more challenging than you thought it was going to be. Okay, let's see here. Can you tell me anything else for Capricorn here heading into May? Can you give Capricorn a little bit more insight heading into May, please? Can you give Capricorn a little bit more insight heading into May? Last time. Okay, thank you. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to start with the Emperor here. That feels like a very direct message. Capricorn, take control. Also showing up Aries energy. And if you look at the Devil, I'm going to pull him up. All right. So if you take a look at the Devil, you can kind of see a little bit of similarities, right? Just in how they sit. If you look at their legs, a little bit of that perched vibe, right? Just very stoic, okay? You've got the horns coming out as well, right? The kind of balance between the two pillars and the two figures here, kind of framing him, right? He's very much in control on either card, very much the power center. And so this feels like Capricorn, take control, right? You wanted this. You are the driving force, which you are. You show up that way in life in general. So why are you not taking control of this situation? Right, and kind of taking, the reins here. Justice popping out as well. You made some decisions to get you to this point. Now is the time to follow through, right? And with this Tower and disruption to your Nine of Pentacles, where you stand and where you feel comfortable, this isn't going to impact this. I think the challenge here is that this feels like a threat on what you're building or what you have built for yourself. But with the nines here, there's no, and it could feel like this is a direct attack on everything you've amassed and your security in this life, right? But the truth is, you've made some decisions here, and now is the time for that follow through. And whatever you've amassed, whatever matters, you won't lose, right? But you've already decided at some point or another that something is not working for you. And by now kind of backtracking and stuttering on this decision, you're only making it harder for yourself, and you're only delaying the inevitable that much more. So the Emperor is in charge. Aries energy, a doer, cardinal sign, just like you, plows through it, right? Gets it done, does not stop until the mission is accomplished. And it feels like Spirit is saying that's the energy we need. You need to get back on that horse and really keep that momentum going, okay? We have King of Cups. You know what is right for you and what isn't from an emotional standpoint. Whatever this is does have an emotional component to it, and that emotion is why it feels like you're stuttering. Perhaps it's this idea that whatever it is feels good in the moment, but when you step back from it, it doesn't feel that good anymore, right? And so it's kind of like when you take a break from this this emotional thing, whatever it is, person, place, thing, habit, etc. When you take a break, it's almost like the fog clears, the fog lifts, and you can be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I know within me that this does not serve me. And even though it feels good in the moment and I get caught up in the moment of feeling good, I don't feel good long term, right? And then as soon as you get back in that again, that's when the fog comes. That's when you start lying to yourself. That's when you start deceiving yourself and you delay taking action on this, right? And so that's where the King of Cups comes in. It's like, you got to do what you got to do here. And again, you know that, right? So another king entering the chat. Empress and the Page of Swords coming up together here. Okay. The Page of Swords coming in reversed feels like you, almost like if you're honest with yourself, can you trust your thought right now? Can you trust this, how do I say this? There's some aspect of you that you can't trust right now. Okay. And you know that. And that seems to be, it's like you're yielding your sword almost like a novice, like you're easily swayed, right? Right now, you're easily swayed by whatever this kind of emotional component is. Like I said, it could be a person, could be a place, could be a thing that you have an attachment to, an emotional attachment to, and that's guiding you, right? So you can't trust that aspect of you because that's leading you in false directions, okay? And you know that. You know that you can't trust this aspect of yourself, which is why you made the decision in the first place to do what you had set out to do. But now you're kind of stalling on that, right? Lover showing up here. So Gemini energy could be soul bond connection, divine connection, what feels like that. It could also, it could very well be that. It could be a connection to your higher self, right? Or it could be what's preventing you from getting to that higher vibrational connection, right? It could be that this person is a love bond or soul bond attachment here, which is why it's so hard to let them go, right? Karmically, you guys are, connected in one way or another. And it doesn't have to be romantically. It could be, past lives or, just really strong connection to whoever this individual is. And that's why it's so hard to break off and do what needs to be done here, right? Do what you decided that you needed to do, however long ago. And now that you've set aside the time to actually do it, you're like, nah, I don't know, I don't want to do it, right? And again, the fact that you, Capricorn, are showing up stalling in this way, really kind of leads me to believe that this is, somebody that you care deeply for, somebody who is really ingrained in your life here, and you're afraid that if you kind of cut them out of your house, you will crumble, right? Or you don't know how you will continue to be without that person or that thing there, right? But again, you know what needs to be done. You know the change that needs to happen and take place, okay? Any final thoughts here for Capricorn? That's too many. Any final thoughts here for Capricorn, please? Last time. That's too many. Any final thoughts for Capricorn? Thank you. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so King of Wands showing up again, right? Another king saying, let's take action, let's go, let's get this show on the road, right? You know, outside of this, if you pull yourself away, you know what needs to be done. This is just further proof. All of the best of you is just waiting for this to happen, right? Waiting for you to make this necessary change to move forward. Chariot showing up again here, paired with that Five of Swords. Again, this idea very rigid, right? Your sign opposite here as well. Let's drive. Let's get this going. Let's move on, right? Almost heading into battle, right? You know this is going to be a fight. And so perhaps that's also why you're stalling, right? You know this is going to be, an upheaval of a time. It's going to be a little bit unruly. It will be a tower because of all that's involved here in whatever this work is in getting this to a cycle end, right? And perhaps that's partly why you're avoiding it as well. Chariot energy, Five of Swords, let's go, right? You know this to be the case. Let's rip the Band-Aid here, right? Knight of Swords, potentially, the energy of this person, place, or thing coming through and trying to stop this, right? But you have all your kings lined up here, plus your emperor ready to go, plus your empress, right? All of this energy on this side of the board here is no match for whatever is trying to prevent you from taking action, right? Now is the time. You've set aside this time, most importantly. So why are you now backtracking on that? Nine of Swords in the shadow. This is plaguing you, and I really feel like it will continue to do so until you start heading into it, right? There's no way around. Spirit is very clear. The only way is through, and you need to start making headway there. The Star. You know what you want, right? You know where you intend yourself to be, and this is the way to get there, right? You have to do what you need to do to get here, because ultimately that's what's most important. You know what I mean? And so that's what I see for you here. Let's see what oracle card we have for you, Capricorn. What advice do we have for Capricorn? What advice do we have? Know you are worthy. 3. Abundance is everywhere around you. Feel worthy and open yourself up to receive the many gifts that await you. It's a natural tendency to focus on what we lack: money, time, rest, a little luxury, good food, a better job, more supportive environments. As an alternative, we can examine what we have now and how we came to have it, asking why we continue to experience lack despite this abundance. Our external measures of personal worth, possessions, jobs, titles, money, may not accurately reflect the real worth of our talents, efforts, and intentions. What feels inadequate for us may seem like extravagance for others, and vice versa. So it's likely unhealthy to compare ourselves with others. If you feel there's something that you lack and you're currently stuck in that feeling, try shifting your energy by shifting your focus. Give thanks for all that you have, including the traits in yourself that helped you get where you are. Focus on those traits, your personal gifts. Acknowledge your patience, perseverance, sense of responsibility, appreciation for quality, and so on. In doing so, you will have a new appreciation and awareness of yourself and what you bring into the world. If you still desire more, you may realize that you need to expand or change your routines and or your investment in the necessary resources before you can obtain whatever still eludes you. Realize that you are inherently worthy and that you are still learning to manifest your desires. We all learn best from experience. Alrighty, Capricorn, that's what I have for you heading into this month. I really hope you gain some insight here heading into May. And I appreciate you, as always, just as I hope that you appreciate this reading. Okay? Thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best today and always, and I look forward to seeing you next time. You take care.